The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, Donald Trump actually is being under a few congressional probes for his finances, and House Democrats have actually subpoenaed Deutsche Bank as well as other banks to look into this, as well as the finances of the Trump organization. Now, the significance of this is the New York Times actually posted last month that Donald Trump actually got most of his loans from Deutsche Bank. Like they were his biggest lender, lending him over $2 billion in the past 2 decades. And also, when he got into office in 2016, he actually was $300 million in the hole with Deutsche Bank. So best believe, if y'all know how money works, y'all know how con artists and janky promoters work. If anybody don't know, watch like the Fire Festival documentary or something like that. But if he's in that seat at 300 in the hole, best believe he was making moves as the president that probably would have worked in his financial interest so he could pay that money back. Stay woke, man. Green Wall and graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, the United Nations actually reported that the measles outbreak is hitting the entire world, and it's on the rise in places. It's most known to be in Ukraine, Madagascar, and India. But everywhere it's seen a spike. With the first 3 months of 2019 is up 3 times the level that it was up in 2018 for the first 3 months. So it's you have places like Africa that are actually seen a rise in measles outbreaks by 700%, and apparently there are 100,000 people that are killed by this disease every year. It's highly infectious, highly contagious. You have places like New York City that actually declared a public health emergency, making it mandatory to get these vaccines, or else you'll be fined or not be allowed to go to school wherever you are, even though the outbreak is in a Orthodox Jewish neighborhood in Brooklyn, even though that's the epicenter of it. So, people are taking this thing seriously. Stay woke. Green Wall and graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, over the last couple of months, I told y'all that there had been a pattern seen of Louisiana churches being burnt and seeming like they were under attack by arson. Now, these happened, these are 3 black churches that were actually in the St. Landry Parish area, which is like 30 minutes north of Lafayette, Louisiana. So it was raising a lot of eyebrows, and police were looking into it and found that actually the St. Landry Parish deputy's son, this 21-year-old Holden Matthew, was actually the culprit, and now they have him in custody or whatever. So they're investigating into it being a hate crime, and it definitely looks like one here. It walks and smells and quacks like a motherfucking duck, that's for sure. Stay tuned though. Green Wall graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting I know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, this almost ain't news because dude is a stand-up dude anyway, so him doing something that's like, legit, it seems like he holds a lot of integrity or whatever, shouldn't be that surprising. But Bernie Sanders actually released 10 years worth of his tax returns, and come to find out, he actually became a millionaire since he ran for president in 2016. Now, he attributes that to his best-selling book, Our Revolution. And he's basically like, if you as he told the New York Times, if you make a best-selling book, you can or you become a best-selling author, you can make $1 million too. So that's just more integrity, I think, shown by him, as well as other people who are running for president. Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Beto O'Rourke. All these people done shown their taxes, but you know who hasn't and is already in the presidential seat? None other than that fuckboy Donald Trump, man. And he probably hiding some shit. Green Wall and graduation though. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, this comes from a tweet from July of 2017 by Donald Trump, where he basically said that they were going to stop allowing transgenders to be in the military. And it's been a lot of up and down on that decision since then, but today it actually officially went into effect. Transgenders cannot be in the military. And the American Medical Association, the AMA, they were actually blasting Trump about this, basically saying that, this is not a medical, they don't have a medical disorder. This is like medically deficient, actually, to say that there's any type of thing wrong with them and that they can't be in the army. There's about 14,700 transgender military members that are ready and willing to serve, and they're just looking at this as a denial of rights. If you ask me, if motherfuckers don't want me to in the army, I'm not fighting for y'all motherfuckers anyway. But you know, people see that as a way to live. So stay tuned, man. Green Wall and graduation. Daughter Bishop Grady letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, yesterday over in Loyola University in Chicago, graduate students were protesting actually against unfair wages and essentially coming at the administration for not acknowledging the union that they formed and coming up with some fair contracts. They're demanding to be treated as workers, and motherfuckers just wasn't trying to hear that. So 7 people were actually arrested. You know, we're talking about 7 grad students that might have been, if you go to Loyola University, some of these people might have been like the teacher for your class, even though they didn't finish getting their PhD or whatever. Depending on what type of class it is, you know how that goes. But nevertheless, this is this is just one place that is happening at, because at a lot of universities around the country, the grad students get treated and paid like shit. You know what I'm saying? And they get worked like mules. So, you know, you guys understand the struggle. Green Wall and graduation. The new World Order Bishop Grady letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report now. The new Secretary of the Interior Department, David Bernhardt, used to be a former oil lobbyist. He was handpicked by Trump, and he's actually being chosen to head this department, which is essentially over federal land. You kind of want your head secretary of the Interior Department to be a little bit of an environmentalist, you know, a little, you know, care about the land that the government wants to preserve for the country. So it seems like the opposite will happen if you bring an oil lobbyist in there. They're going to work in the interests of big oil, which a lot of times damages the environment as a whole, like just around the globe and around, if it is a globe, and around and for the whole country, for that whole area, whatever the area they're in, whatever ocean they're in. Nevertheless, this dude 4 days actually after being sworn in by the crooked ass Congress that's mostly Republican run, he's being investigated for conflicts of interest. CNN actually said that he made 15 policy decisions last year that directly benefited his former clients. Green Wall and graduation. Although the Bishop Grady letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, over in Europe, actually, there were protests, sit-ins, marches all across the continent for demanding urgent action against, or you know, designed to deal with this climate change that seems to be happening and shaking up the entire world. Now, in London, actually, there were over 100 people that were arrested yesterday. This is after, like, you know, having a sit-in and blocking shut down the Waterloo Bridge and the Oxford Circus, and then you had a bunch of people actually super gluing themselves to the British headquarters for the Shell Oil Company. So, you know, the people are speaking. God has a way of talking, or the universe has a way of talking to the people, especially the people in power. And you know what I mean? If motherfuckers super gluing themselves to a building by the dozens isn't like alarming enough. I mean, what can you do to get people's attention? Like, something's got to be done. The people wonder. Green Wall and graduation, though, you know this. The new World Order Bishop Grady letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report now. Over in New York City, actually, the Museum of Natural History, they were actually supposed to host Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro. I don't know how you pronounce that Jair part, Bolsonaro, but you know what I mean? That's how you spell it or whatever. And nevertheless, this was done because people were actually protesting a lot against Bolsonaro being there, who is, mind you, he's like a far-right person. He's like the version of Trump down there. And essentially in the Amazon rainforest of the Brazil, you know, very, very popular and well-known throughout the world. He's opening that place to mining and logging and agribusiness while violating the rights of indigenous people. Sounds familiar, right? So anyway, that's what's happening. And yeah, motherfuckers shut that down. So anytime that it's some like former power, some dictator, or some horrible person that's coming over here, just know that we got the juice to shut that shit down. Like, let's stay focused. Green Wall and graduate. Hold on, the new World Order Bishop Grady letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, this man has to be fucking stopped. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, yo. This dude is essentially waging a religious war by saying, he put out on Twitter 2 days ago, Donald Trump actually put out a video saying "We will never forget" in bold letters, in all caps, pardon me. And the video actually showing the Twin Towers. Well, first it's showing Ilhan Omar, representative congresswoman from Minnesota. Now, this is also one of the first two Muslim people to actually be in Congress, like two Muslim women, and she's sworn on the Quran and everything, right? But she's been under constant attack by the right wing for essentially being that, and they call her, I guess, slipping, as they would see it, saying at a Kair talk that some people did something in reference to 9/11. Now they're all up in arms. Trump shares this tweet, and now she's seen a rise in death threats. This man must be stopped. Green War graduation.